Have you ever heard of something called the scratch out write-in test? It's a simple little test to see if your ads are any different than any of your competitors. It's pretty simple. Here's how it works. Take one of your ads, brochure, postcard, website, literally anything, scratch your name off the top, and then write your competitor's name in its place. That's the scratch out write-in test. And here's the gut punch. If the ad still makes sense, if it still sounds fine, if nobody would even notice the difference, then guess what? You failed the test. Yeah, it's going to break your heart the first time you try it because most contractors fail miserably. You're going to realize that your ads sound just like everybody else's. You know what I'm talking about. High quality, fair prices, family owned and operated, same empty platitudes, same promises, same nothing. My name is Rich Harshaw, CEO of Level 10 Contractor. I turn remodeling contractors into lead generating machines with websites, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, CTV, you name it, we do it. And today I'm going to share with you 5 ways to make your print ads work better. Now let me give you a little psychological lesson that's going to help you understand how people think. Your brain operates in 2 different modes. Alpha mode, which is asleep at the wheel, and beta mode, which is wide awake. Let me give you some examples. Think about this. Alpha, it's like when you drive home and you don't remember the trip. Your brain's on autopilot. Have you ever done that before? You drive to the same place over and over again, and when you get there, you're sitting in the parking lot and you think, man, I don't remember anything. That's alpha mode. Beta mode kicks in when something grabs your attention, like maybe somebody calling your name. There's something called the reticular activating system, and that's the switch. It's the radar that's on 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It wakes you up when something is familiar, unusual, or problematic. Now, your ad has to trigger that reticular activating system, or else your prospects are going to sleepwalk right past your gorgeous new roof ad. I've got this huge stack in my office, Utah County Home Plus. It's a local direct mail publication. Same thing as Smart Saver in Phoenix or Hometown Values magazine in Seattle, but I live in Utah, so mine's called Utah County Hometown Plus. You know the kind of magazine that I'm talking about. Pages and pages and pages of glossy coupons, lots of discounts. Well, I've been collecting a stack of those Utah County Home Plus lately, and here's what I see when I start to look through them, okay? All of the ads, all of them, they look the same. Now, I'm going to paint you a picture of what you typically find in these kinds of home improvement magazines. You've got the usual suspects. You've got an ad for pavers, right? Maybe you've got backyard patios. Maybe there's a pool next to it. Then there's a roofing company with shocker photos of roofs. Then a flooring company that's bragging, transform your home with new floors. And of course, it's a big glossy shot of floors in an obviously staged living room. Turn the page. What's on their windows, right? Renewal by Andersen, probably. Sunlight streaming in through the perfect glass panes. And next, it's ads for and pictures of gutters and siding. And next to that, what? There's a lawn care company showing, a big, bright, beautiful green lawn. Then you'll see garages. You'll see decks, vinyl fences, air conditioners, bathrooms. Every single one features exactly what they sell. Nothing more, nothing less. Every ad follows the exact same predictable pattern. Here's what we sell. Here's a literal picture of it. No story, no emotion, no identity. Maybe they put a picture, like a stock photo of a beautiful family standing in front of the thing, whatever it is. Now, you're hearing me say this, and you're probably like, well, crap, of course that's what that's a picture of, because that's what the ad is for. But that's not the point. My point is, as you flip through these magazines with the same ad, page after page after page after page, it all just sort of blurs and blends together and nothing really pops out. Now, here's the idea. It's real simple. You've got to stand out, okay? This goes for mailers. It goes for print ads. It goes for things that are in magazines or newspapers. I don't know if you're doing magazines and newspapers anymore, but wherever you happen to be putting your ads, I know this. A lot of my clients and a lot of you listening to this right now, you do these magazine ads. It's the Home Mag, it's the Hometown Values, it's the Clipper, it's the, what do you call that thing where you've got the coupons in there? Val Pack. Yeah, okay? Same thing. So here's a couple of things that you can try. Actually, 5 things you can try. 5 ways to make your print ad game a little bit stronger, maybe a lot stronger. All right, let's start with number 1. Try different sizes of ads. Okay, so if you got a half-page ad, try a full-page ad. See what happens. If you've got a full-page ad, here's a little tip. Try 2 half-page ads. If you go from a full page to 2 half-page ads, you have, guess what? Twice the coverage. So it's worth looking into. I've made this work before. Make sure that you specify if you've got a half-page ad, always make sure it's on the top of the magazine if it's one of these little magazines with all the different ads in it. You don't want it on the bottom of the page. You want to be at the top of the page. People tend to see the top of the page when they're flipping through. Same thing goes with quarter page ads. Try to get it pushed to the top. Negotiate that. If you can't, then just say, I'm not going to do it. Put me at the freaking top of the page or else, okay? You've got power. It's your money. They want it. You can set some conditions. Also, you can try something that I call carpet bombing. Carpet bombing is taking your ad spend and instead of having a full page ad or the 2 half page ads like I just talked about, instead of that, place a bunch of little ads, teeny tiny ads, spread them throughout the magazine, make them some sort of a bright color. Now I'm going to cross-pollinate this with another idea, which is number 3 up ahead, which is, spoiler alert, going bold, okay? But just a preview right here. If you carpet bomb and you've got 6 or 7 or 8 little ads that are sprinkled throughout the publication, again, it doesn't matter if it's a magazine or it's a newspaper or whatever the heck the thing happens to be. Here's what you want to do. Make sure that they're really easy to see, like bright red or bright pink or some other bright color that people can't help but notice as they're turning the pages, okay? This is what I call carpet bombing, and it demands attention. All right, so that's number 1. Try different sizes of ads. Test it out. See what works. Okay, now let's move on to number 2, which is get personal. We ran an ad for Clemens Home Solutions, one of our clients, that put the personal front and center. So we took his sort of normal kind of ad, we ripped it up. He had been running it for a couple years before we showed up. And instead, we put a picture of his family on it. And there was a headline that says something to the effect of, when we remodel your home, it's not just business, it's personal. People first, excellence always. That's the Clemens Solutions difference. Not one single image of a gutter or roof or windows, not even a house, just this giant picture that took up 40% or so of the full page ad. And it was Sean and his wife and his 4 kids. That ad, instead of pulling $10,000 to $15,000 in sales the first time it ran, like the other ads had been performing, it pulled, guess what? $130,000 in sales. 130. Now, the previous year, it had pulled $137,000 for the entire year for the generic ad. So we did what? $7,000 less in a month than the whole frickin' year before? Okay, so what happened is over the course of this year, it's up to, let's see, $740,000 in sales. The year's not over because it's so different. People see this and they go, oh, wow, this is different. They're attracted to the personal. I'm going to give you another example to show you how you can do this. You can share a personal cause. I have another client named Jericho that does a lot of work with an organization called the Global Orphan Project. They donate money and time and effort and all kinds of things to Global Orphan, which, as you can imagine, helps orphans in different places around the world. It also helps them right there in Kansas City where Jericho is located. It's a really special cause for Jericho's previous owner, John, who's since passed away, and the new owner has run with this and kept the tradition going. Now, they're able to break through the clutter of other home improvement ads by resetting the conversation. It's no longer just about a roof, or in the case of Jericho, a new kitchen. It's also about who your money's going to. Okay, so that's number 2. I want you to get a little bit personal. Think about it at least. Come up with some ideas. Here's number 3. I spoiled this a little bit earlier, which is going bold. Okay, go bold. Now, there's a lot of different ways to go bold. One that I just talked about a minute ago, I was talking, remember, about carpet bombing. I said use a bold background color. Your company color, okay, that's okay. If it's kind of a darkish red like Jericho's, maybe you want to run an ad with a solid red background with some bright white letters on it. I want you in this situation to think of these ads as kind of like little billboards where you've got a bold background color and very few words that you're actually using, okay? A lot of words just tends to clutter things up. You can't use a lot of words on a billboard because, you know, people are driving by, maybe 30, 40 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 90, who knows? They're going how many ever miles the speed limit is. If it's the freeway, it's 80 miles an hour, and you can only use a few words. Not because they limit the word count, but because passersby, however you say that, they can only grasp a few words at that speed. So what if you did that? What if you created essentially billboards with your company color as the background, and then a clear, easy to understand message that cannot be missed, okay? This is kind of a take on the concept that I call left-hand, right-hand trash can. This is for direct mail, left-hand, right-hand trash can. We use this for postcards, and the reason I love postcards for direct mail is because of this thing. It's called left-hand, right-hand trash can. So what happens is people pick the postcard up with their left hand, and as they put it into their right hand on the way into the trash can, that headline that you put on there delivers some kind of a message, and it's got to be quick, and you have to be bold, not only in your design or the amount of ads that you bomb somebody with, but with your words, headlines, okay? You've got to be bold. Let me give you a couple of examples. I wrote these using what I call headline starters. If you're not familiar with my headline starters, you can look them up in the podcast archives. I've talked about this before. These are jumping off points to help us write bold, impactful headlines. So here's an example. There's a headline starter that I call news. Okay, the idea behind this headline starter is that you write the headline like you're writing front page news. So let's say that we're writing an ad for siding an exterior remodeling company, and we want to talk about how much better a home is going to look after the makeover. So what we do is we look at this and we go, okay, we need a news type headline, and we need it to be related to a stunning makeover. So here's what I came up with. Turn heads, drop jaws, upset a few neighbors. Or here's a bold headline using the headline starter called statistics, which asks you to use statistics. We took a survey. 88% of your neighbors voted for you to update your exterior. That's going to get attention. Now, you might say, well, did they really take a survey? No, of freaking course they didn't. But it's an ad. You're trying to get attention. It's okay. You can run with it. Try it. Here's a headline from a headline starter called How To. And it's very simple. You just start with how to. Make your home look literally 10 times better. Here's one called Questions. Ask a question. When were you planning on finally getting around to getting new siding? Here's another category. It's called Testimonials. Here's the headline. People walking their dogs just stop and stare. The transformation is unbelievable. Put that in quotation marks. It's a quote from a customer. Here's one called Guarantee. It goes like this. If you don't love your new exterior, we'll pay you $100,000 cash. Okay, now you're going to have to figure out how to pull that off, but that's a good headline. It's definitely bold. Speaking of, there's a headline starter that I call the bold claim. Have the best looking house on your block in just 30 days. Okay, so the idea here is instead of just running an ad that says, hey, look, here's a picture of crap that we sell. If you want some, call us because we, got it. You've got to run ads that stand out and stand apart. A great way to distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack is to start out saying something that they don't. Don't use platitudes. Don't say we have decks and awnings and patio covers, pergolas, railings. Call us. Here's our phone number. Be bold. Be different. Okay, so that's 3 of the 5 ways to make your print ads work better. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is to try an information offer. And here's what I'm talking about. Instead of saying call us for a free estimate, which I'm not saying don't say call for a free estimate, but what I am saying is this. Maybe there's an alternative way to try something. Create some sort of an idea guide. If you're a kitchen remodeler, you could say call for a kitchen remodeling idea guide. If you're a siding company, you could say, siding exterior transformation idea guide. Or you could create a report, everything you need to know about replacing your windows. You get the idea, right? It's not that difficult. Create this and then put an offer in your print ad. And here's what happens. People see that and they're kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about getting new windows. I think I'll get this guide called Everything You Need to Know About Replacing Your Windows because nobody knows anything about replacing their windows. And boy, would it be helpful to know. So you put this offer out there and people request it. Now, if you do this, here's what you're going to notice. Number 1, you're going to notice that leads are going to go up dramatically because a lot of people are going to take advantage of this information offer. Number 2, you're going to notice that a lot of these people that are leads are people that are not ready to buy right away. So number 3, you need to get a text messaging platform to follow up with these people and separate the people who are ready to set appointments today from the people who are not ready to set appointments today. Then, of course, set appointments with the people who are ready today and nurture the others through email and text. How long? How about forever? Until they buy. This is not a conversation right now on text follow-up. I'm just pointing out using text follow-up and email follow-up for the people who are not ready to buy right now, and then meet and take appointments with the people who are. Okay? It's pretty simple. So that's number 4. Let's review before we get to number 5. Number 1, try different sizes of ads. Number 2, get personal. Show your mug on there maybe. Number 3, go bold. And then number 4 was trying an information offer. Now let's go to number 5, which is storytelling. Okay, tell a story. Well, geez, what kind of story should I tell, Rich? Answer any story that's interesting and relevant and has something to do with your identity. Let me give you a little tip here. If you're doing your search engine optimization, right? And I'm not saying that you are. If you're a level 10 client, you are. But if you're not, you're probably not doing it right because here's what it would look like if you were doing it right. You would be isolating and identifying your identity points. You would then be looking based on those identity points for stories and examples and illustrations and comparisons that can help you tell the story about that particular identity point. Then you would create blog posts out of those that you can then post on your website. Are you doing that? You should be doing that as a part of your SEO. And if you are, it's going to help you create powerful ads. Why? Well, let's say, for instance, as an example, we write a blog for a company called Today's Entry Doors. We create a blog post that says, we're the Orange County door company that communicates clearly during your entire project. And then we told the story about how frustrating it is to deal with contractors and how they don't always do what they say and how you don't always know what's going on. Sound familiar? It does to the customer. And then we give a quick guide to tell you what happens when you hire Today's Entry Doors. Step 1, you get a thank you letter with key information. Step 2, we communicate the order process by phone and email. 3, order confirmation and timeline updates. 4, calling to schedule installation day. 5, installation day. 6, warranty in writing. Then we take this, we write it into a print ad and tell the story. Here's what you'll find. People love it. Let me give you another example. Here's one for Bathroom Pros New Jersey. Here's the header. 3 pricing games New Jersey bathroom remodelers play. What you need to know to protect yourself from shady salespeople. Now in this blog, we share 3 common pricing games. The management discount, the hidden charges, and how they do the old bait and switch. This is a whole article. and then we condense it into a print ad. And you're probably going to need a little bit of space on this print ad, but here's the idea. If you do this and you tell your story, people are going to go look at this and they're going to say to themselves, wow, this is the kind of company that I'd like to do business with. Tell that story. People will read it. They're going to say, that's interesting. It really breaks through. What you need to be doing is writing identity-based blogs for your company and then taking those stories to create other ads. You can create print ads like we're talking about today, or even radio and TV ads. You can write all of these from your blogs, and you can also do, guess what? Facebook, social media, all of this. The concepts are the same. You might say to yourself, if you say to yourself, I don't do print ads, you probably aren't watching this video right now, but if you are and you don't do print ads, everything that I've just talked about, it also works for Facebook advertising. You say, well, isn't that video-based? Well, yeah, there's video-based ads that can tell the same kind of stories, but also you can have static ads on Facebook. If you tell your relevant and compelling story using good headlines and good copywriting, then these are ads that will actually stand out from the noise of here's the things that we do, here's a list of the bullet points, here's a picture, call us. What makes you think that people are going to call you just because you freaking exist? You need to do more than exist and be there. You need to tell a story. So by way of review, okay, some ideas for getting your print ads to work better. Different sizes, get personal, go bold, try an information offer, try some storytelling. These are all things that will move the needle. Don't be afraid that they might not work, because guess what? Anything you do might not work, duh. But what if you could take an ad that gets $10,000, $15,000 in sales and take it up to, oh, I don't know, $130,000 or even $80,000 or $50,000 or even $30,000 instead of $10,000 or $15,000. This is what's at stake. Don't assume that the ad that you're running is the best ad, because it's probably not. And just because you're running it, it's going to be maximized and that's as good as it can do, because that's probably not true. So there you go. There's 5 ways you can make your print ads work better. Go try it. Let me know what happens. Now, I want you to tell me which of these 5 strategies do you think would work best for your business. Drop a comment below. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you're getting value from this content, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button and make sure that you see all of our future podcasts that come out on the channel. Also, you can listen to me every day on the Level 10 Contractor Daily Podcast. Find it on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast place. That's it for today. Thanks for spending some time. I'll talk to you later.